Bozhena, how are you?
Hi, Swamini. I'm good. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for joining this call today. And I'm really excited to be having this chat because I know you have been doing social media marketing agency since quite a while now. So, can you please tell me a little bit about your background and what inspired you to launch your own agency?
Sure. Well, I've been working in media field since 2014. So I have background in economics. So my education is I have master's in economics, but I went to work as a journalist for a while. And then I was invited to become a CEO of a media startup. So I was sort of slash journalist, but also, with a slight shift to management and business and marketing and all. But after I left that media startup, I was trying to find myself, like what I want to do. Like probably media, okay, it was interesting, it was fine, but what else? And so after the media startup, I also had another job in another media as an editor. Then I left and I just started freelancing. For 2 years before I started the agency, I was working myself, like without a team. I was just trying different things. I did PR, I did copywriting for websites. I also did social media marketing. And then eventually I niched down to just social media marketing, specifically even I would say Facebook and Instagram, which are like my top priority specialties that I'm good at. And yeah, so I think what gave me like this career boost was media and journalism, but then I niched out more to like the business side of it, the marketing side, because I was a tech journalist, so I was writing about tech business, and it was interesting for me. And at some point I was just, hey, maybe I should start an agency, because I had a lot of work like myself. I saw that I'm not able to do it all myself, so I hired some people. And at first it wasn't even an agency. Like I wouldn't say like, hey, we are an agency, I just had these people who helped me. But then I also thought, why not make some sort of like a brand out of it and sort of also acknowledge the work of these people, like so that they understand that they are not just working for me and I'm just some random person, but they're working in some company. And that's how really we started this thing, our agency. So it wasn't like a straightforward process. Like I worked as a marketer, so I became a marketer and then I opened my marketing agency. No, it was sort of kind of not the straightest road for me. Yep.
Okay, that's good. I want to ask about prospecting. So, when you start an agency or when you're just like a freelancer going on your own, how do you prospect?
Basically, what helped me and what still helps me is my network. So when I was working full time, like not on my own, not a freelancer, I was meeting a lot of people. I was a journalist, so obviously I had to meet a lot of people. And then also as a media CEO, the startup CEO, I was also meeting a lot of people. So like I had a really wide network before I niched out to freelancing in my agency. And I have to say, it still feeds me to this day. Like right now, of course, people learn about me more as a marketer, but I think my first client came off as people who knew me as a journalist. And when I announced on social media that, look, I'm now niching out to marketing, so if you need social media marketing services, hey, contact me. And some people did come from knowing me as a journalist, but they were like, oh, well, maybe she can do something good for us. And that's how the first people found me. And then currently, yeah, my network, it also works, but we are trying other instruments. So like in October, I went to New York City to just see how offline lead generation at the events works. Also, we tried LinkedIn, just cold outreach on LinkedIn. We also do, content marketing and ads, paid ads on Facebook and Instagram. But I would say that what helps the most, like the best working duo, is personal network and just keeping in touch with these people and reaching out to them, and also content that I put out on my social media account and my agency account. It shows people that, hey, we are here. Like they cannot forget about us because we are constantly doing something. And I think that's what helps. So reaching out to people and content. Yeah.
So, is that the same method do you use for prospecting in the US market also?
For the US market, it's basically, I think after going to the US for this month, the best way is really to be there. to go to these events, to meet people, to go to networking events, to speed networking events, to some sort of business fairs and whatever. Because if you, especially for us, like I'm not American and my team is in Ukraine, I'm currently in Turkey, so we are all over the place. But I think for the US market, it's important to show that you are a real person. It's not a scam. And, you are there and like they can talk to you and they can see you. Even if you go back to your country and to your team to work from there, it's still better to make this first contact in person. So I think we will be trying maybe some other online sort of freelancing platforms where you can find clients as an agency, like Upwork, for instance. So we want to try that as well for generating US market leads. But I think we will be still trying offline visits to the US, to some, business events, to generate leads that way. Because I think we already got several leads from that way, like going to events. And I think that's what we will keep doing.
So what services do you offer with your agency?
Yeah, well, social media marketing, specifically content production and paid ads. So I think our competitive advantage compared to other social media marketing agency is that we do both. Like we don't do just content, scheduling, stories, posts, designs. We also set up paid ads, Facebook, Instagram, and now we also offer TikTok and LinkedIn, sort of niching out, also branching out, I would say, to these two platforms. So this is our special target niche. And sometimes some clients ask us, but why don't you do websites, or why don't you do PR? These are related. Yeah, we have partners for that. Like if a client needs, I can refer them to somebody who I know is 100% professional, but our approach is we don't do job that we are not sure that we will, finish. It's not just for the money. We want to be proud of our result, and why do something that we are not the most experts in? So yeah, Facebook, Instagram, content, ads, that's our niche.
So as an entrepreneur, what is your goal with your agency? Is it like, do you want to expand it one day, or are you happy with how things are going right now?
Yeah, I think we will be expanding soon. Well, we're already hiring 2 new people. Well, one, but I think we will have a new vacancy soon for another one. I wouldn't say like we have a goal to become #1 agency in Ukraine or in Europe or in the US or whatever. Our current goal is to really grow as a brand that is reliable and is known for accomplishing all our KPIs and all. And, to expand and be like a stable company, not just a group of people who are doing something together. I want it to become sort of an established brand, an organization, a company we already have a structure, right? We have a certain process, so that is already working. But as we get bigger, more clients and more people, of course, these processes will have to be restructured again and again. So I think for this year, our goal is to really adapt as we grow. And if we do grow bigger, to become more stable. Because right now, for instance, what happens, we have a lot of 3 new clients, and we don't have enough workforce, for instance, so we are all overworked, which happens like if you're a small business, but you have this rapid boost in your growth and you are really tight on the workforce. So we have to find a way to manage these outbursts of growth in order to really grow big and not have this stressful periods anymore. So that's really my goal for like this year. And let's see how it works out, how it all works for us, for our clients. Maybe we will branch out to some other niche. I don't know. For now, it's like that.
So as a remote team, and you're working in complete different countries, so what is your strategy when it comes to hiring the right team?
I don't really have a strategy to hiring some specific type of people. Like we make this post, like a vacancy post, and we list out everything that we want to have in a person. Sometimes people that apply, they do not strictly fit what we are looking for, but I still collect their resume, I still talk to them, and I still try to keep in touch with them and keep good contact with them, because I don't know what we will need in a month or in 3 months or in 6 or a year. Maybe I will need them later. And so we are sort of collectors of all sorts of candidates at this point. And this is a good strategy for also an agency probably that is just growing out, because you never know who you will need later. Like right now you have a need for this certain specialist, but if you grow again, if you have this very fast growth period, you might need another person with another skill set in 2 months already. So you have to really be flexible with your search. And if you're looking for somebody specific, still do not say no to everybody else. Like look at all the options on the market. I think that's one of the best advices for small business owners out there.
Yeah. So do you find it easy to collaborate with your team remotely? Because you're the boss, let's say, and then you're not in an office setting. So how do you trust your team and how does it work?
I have to say, this is sort of, it's not stressful. Sometimes it's hard because people cannot see you. They cannot hear you, like what you say to them. And maybe sometimes something might seem aggressive or like just wrong emotion. Like if you are not really aggressive or sad or whatever, and the person might read it just another way because they just don't see and don't hear you. That is really a problem. Like I wouldn't say it's a critical problem. We don't really have any conflicts regarding that. But I also think it's all about a communication tool, because we are all online and all digital. We do see each other once per week. We have this team meeting, and every Monday I have a meeting with account manager. We like go over all of her tasks and the team's priorities and whatever. And at the end of the week, we get on a call, all of us, and we talk what we've done, what we need to do, and all that. And that helps. But of course, I mean, we still don't talk every day. So I think it really takes a lot of good written communication skills, like how you write your message, what words do you choose. It's really important because you cannot draft a message for an hour. You cannot be too picky about your words, but you still have to pick the right language, the right tone, the right words, because people cannot see you. So you have to sort of, and it's hard, sometimes you're emotional, you can burst something out and then regret it, but at least try to not make it too often, so people know that, it's just an episode, it's okay, everybody's stressed, that's fine. And this is my advice for every boss probably who's working online with their employees and even clients. Like you also don't see your clients, you cannot talk to them every day, they don't know your mood, what's out that is happening in your life. So really pick your words. Probably that's my advice. And maybe more meetings, more like Zooms. I'm not into happy hour Zooms. I don't think it's necessary. I think people can do whatever they want after work, and you don't have to really collect them on another Zoom. They are tired of Zooms already, and you get them for another Zoom. I think that's not necessary. But maybe some sort of team calls every now and then, more of them could help.
Do you see yourself moving into an office anytime soon, or are you just happy with the remote working?
I think we will move to that maybe closer to the end of this year, and not like full-time office is what is great. What would be great for us is having a team day somewhere in a co-working, for instance, to just come for a day and work and, have this normal interaction and then go back to our houses and not have a long commute back and forth, which I think for me, I remember my days of working in the office. The worst part of the day was the commute. Like it would take me so much time to get there, to get back. But the actual experience in the office wasn't really that bad. I mean, all the bad maybe moments that I had, they were compromised by all the good ones, like talking to your colleagues while you were having coffee, or going together for lunch, or all these really human interactions. They're very important, I think. So thanks God, most of my team, they are still located in one city, although we might hire people from 2 different other cities. For the ones that stay in Kyiv, in the capital, we can get them together in one office once per month, for instance. But as for the rest, probably it's not okay for them to come for just one day, So we'll have to figure out that, but maybe later, because right now we're just expanding. And that's why I think by the end of this year, we should really figure out how to do it, how to organize it, because I really want people to feel like they are one team and they are not working on some other planet and they one thing. So that's very important.
Yeah, I love that. I love this advice. So next thing I want to talk about is mentorship, because every time like a new entrepreneur is starting out, people say that get a good mentor. So what do you think? Like, is it important to get mentors? Do you have any?
I think it's very important, but I don't really have a mentor currently. I would say my mentors currently are like books and YouTube videos or bloggers or whatever. I used to have several mentors who were actually like my bosses when I worked as a journalist, and I could ask them for advice. It was quite a free will communication. It was really nice. I liked their authority that they had, like their brand or personal brand on the market, but still I wasn't afraid to ask them something and they were okay with me asking that. But right now I wouldn't really say I have a mentor, which is hard. Like, sometimes I want to ask something specific also. Like there are general questions about business and you can really find the answers anywhere. But some specific ones, like something about finances or again hiring or process organization or whatever, it's hard for me, but I try to stay connected in all these like online groups. So I'm looking at what people are writing. I also try to stay connected with my peers online, like on Facebook or Instagram, whatever they write about their problems or wins or how they figured out something in their business. So I think again, my network helps me, because in my network, there are a lot of people who are also either freelancers or business owners. And I really do get some mentorship indirectly from them. Like I don't ask them directly, hey, what do you think here? Although I think I could. I don't know why. Maybe I'm shy. Well, I'm not shy. Maybe I'm lazy. But so, I don't really have a mentor. I think it's important. And maybe if somebody really needs a mentor, like you can really reach out to anyone as long as they have time. Some people reach out to me. Can I mentor them? And at this moment, I cannot really say yes to anybody because I don't really have the capacity and time for this. But I tell them, look, I actually write a lot on my social media, so you should check it out. Probably just pick somebody on social, look what they're writing about. If it's really something that you like, and if you think you could ask them to get together with you, even at least once per month, maybe somebody has time, like not like me. So they will mentor you. This is probably my advice.
Yeah. So based on your personal experience of starting an online agency, any mistakes that you had made, so what advice do you have to someone who is just starting out?
Okay, well, I have several pieces of advice. One would be to always have an agreement, like some fixed set of responsibilities on both sides. But also, if it's a new client, don't make it long. Make it 1 month only, and then you can always prolong it, like continue it if the client wants and if you want. This is very important. Not all contracts that you will sign, you will want to continue, because you don't know the person, you don't know their way of doing things. It might not be a wrong way of doing things, just not very consistent with yours. And sometimes you might want to really be the one who wants to get out of the contract. So that's one thing, right? Have an agreement, and if it's a new client, then don't sign it for over than a month. Test it out. Test it out, the relationship that you have. Next would be to always give a test assignment to people when you hire them. Because what happens is a lot of people have great portfolios, but portfolio is an end result, and you don't know really how the person got to this end result, because sometimes if they were working in a team, there could have been a client, there could have been some like advisor or manager or other people advising how to make something look better, a copy or a design or whatever. And so the portfolio might look great, but you don't know the percentage of work that was done by this specific person on that thing. So always give out a test assignment. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to take the whole day or even half a day. maybe 1, 2, 3 hours, Also, it's a confirmation from a person that they are ready to commit in some way. Also, sometimes test assignment really cuts half of the candidates. Like, not all people want to do that, and that's fine. They are trading their time for the money in the future. And if they really want the position, if they really want this additional, like if it's a freelancer, for instance, they just need some money additionally, it's fine. So everything has their price. And probably if something does not work out with a person, it's best to let them go fast. Like, don't make it last too long. It won't benefit your company, you, or another person. They can maybe find some other job that will be more interesting for them, because I believe in most cases people underperform because it's just not motivating enough for them. It seems like that. I think it's also was the case, like when I worked, in other jobs earlier, when I was a full-time employee, I would not want to do something because I was not motivated enough by it. So I recognize this when something is not up to our standard. I see that maybe the person just not motivated enough. But it's important to part on the good terms. Like, always pay people, like if they work some period, you have to pay them for it. It doesn't matter. Okay, maybe the quality was shitty, but you had an agreement. So do pay them in full and just let them go on good terms. So you never have some bad feeling after you stop working with them. And the same is, of course, with clients. So, even if you have like some complicated work conflict, try to find a mutual agreement on some terms, because you also don't want to part bad with them unless it's like really something, I don't know, they are not paying you for a year and you cannot really get the money from them, or you have made, I don't know, 30 versions of one design and still not good. I mean, that's kind of nonsense. So of course you cannot be very patient and good and kind and whatever. That needs some serious conflict resolution. And honestly, probably you will not be able to part on good terms after that. But in all other cases, like mild cases, you can, it's better to part on good terms.
So do you prefer taking the payment in advance or after the month?
We have a strategy and we have monthly services. So for strategy, we have 50-50. We have 50 in advance and 50% after we are finished. And for monthly, it's usually after everything is done, like at the end of the month, because we have already usually tested the client by then with a strategy, which is the first part of any cooperation. And so we really are confident that they will pay us. We know them. It's fine. So we are not afraid to do that. I don't think we ever had a contract for like 100% upfront. I mean, you also have to give clients some space. They might also want to see the result. Like, usually, of course, it's also easier to get the client if you offer them the 50-50, because it's fair for both parties, not just you. They also get to decide and choose and see.
Yeah, that makes sense. Initially, we talked about networking, and that's, I think, in a way related to community building. So I know you have also built a community, The Hustle is Female. So how did you get about that?
I was at work as the CEO of that media startup, and I was leaving it in a month. And I was like, so what am I going to do next? That was before I decided to do freelance. Like, I started freelancing actually in a year. But before that, I still wanted to do something. And so I made this Facebook page that I called The Hustle is Female. The name was out of nowhere. I don't know what happened with me then. Like, just, actually, it's now trademark. We registered it in the US. And it's a nice, sketchy, name. And I just named it. The page wasn't really getting any traction, any followers, nothing. We tried to promote it in Facebook groups or whatever, but it was very dead, pretty much. But then one day we posted this video about Oprah Winfrey, and it got viral, but it didn't get viral instantly. It was like after 2 months that we posted it. Suddenly, I noticed people are liking it, leaving comments and sharing. I was like, what happened? who shared it, where. And it was then that in 4 months we got to 50,000 followers.
Wow.
And we had some crazy reach of like 3 million people or something. That was crazy. And it was with zero ads, nothing was invested at that point in the page. And that was the time when I realized that Instagram was getting much bigger. And so we registered our account on Instagram as well. And at first, we tried really different types of monetization for the project. We tried selling ads to brands, like ads on the website. We had a website and we like posted articles. So it was sort of / news website, magazine website. And that didn't really turn out profitable. Like we had some partnerships, but it wasn't like a daily thing. So we dropped that. Then we had companies who would offer us like advertising posts on social, like Facebook and Instagram, but that also wasn't daily or monthly thing. And when the agency started growing, like all this community, it was done basically by me and one designer that she's not working with us anymore, but she was like a freelancer. I hired her, she helped me with the designs, and all content was just basically written by me. And when the agency run-up started growing, I really don't have any time right now to do the community. So best decision that we decided to go with right now is to launch a marketing membership with some helpful things for marketers, like tutorials, courses, templates, whatever. We're still yet to launch it this year, hopefully. But right now, the page is basically on hold, unfortunately. But in its best days, I would say, like even a year ago, it was more active. We had so many people like commenting and sharing and interacting with the page. So I really look forward to get back to this. And probably when we launch, we will have our social media marketing manager from the agency help with the content, and then again our designer. So we really want to get back to it. We just need more time. Again, the strategy, like the new strategy, since we are pivoting to something else. And the community was built around the belief in ambitious women, just that a woman is allowed ambition. We can talk about it. We can make fun about it. We can do whatever, but like the freedom, the possibility of doing anything. And, there is, of course, the feministic topic there, but there is also like a business sort of topic there as well. And I wouldn't say that we are exclusive to women only, but I mean, I've seen some men following us. So, but of course, the name suggests that we are a female only community, but whoever likes our content, they're welcome to. And hopefully when we relaunch, we will be able to do more deep business content sort of.
So I have one final question for you. It is about tips for content creation. Like we just talked about community building, and also what kind of content do you think really works?
On Instagram or Facebook or where?
I think Instagram now, yeah.
Instagram. Reels, definitely hot topic, and Instagram is pushing it everywhere and giving it the maximum possible organic reach. Then, of course, I would say stories. Stories has become a really major tool for raising your engagement. Like if you're active on stories daily, if you make stories that people can engage with, like the ones with different stickers, or the polls and whatever, then if Instagram sees that some people interact with your stories, then they will most likely see more of your posts whenever you post. So this is interesting. You don't have to really post every day right now, but I would say stories must be every day. And then posts, they just have to come out with some sort of regularity. Like it doesn't have to be daily, but every other day, every 2 days, once per week, even, as long as it's also really good post, like not just random photo without text or anything. That, I mean, if you're going to post like that, then you can as well post every day. But yeah, stories, reels, what else? Carousels, because right now Instagram rates content based on how much time people spend watching it or reading it or whatever, or engaging with it. So as long as carousels are long form content, you scroll them, you engage with it, that also triggers Instagram to think that, oh, people like your content because they're engaging with it. So that as well. Also, this new feature feature came out where you can invite collaborator to make posts together. That one is really big right now. I see everybody doing that. And I'm really excited to see how it evolves this year, because it used to be that only like influencers and brands that ordered ads from them could do this thing. Now it's very convenient, and the post also pops up on your feed and on the other person's feed, which doubles your reach altogether, which is really cool. So on Instagram, that would be my guess.
Wow, that is such a great advice. Thank you so much, Bozhena. I'll be adding all the relevant links, especially to your Instagram, LinkedIn.
Thank you, and good luck to all your viewers. I mean, social media isn't really that hard. You just have to be patient with it.
Yeah, that's good advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.